fashion isn't just clothes. It's how we tell the world who we are without saying a single word. Every morning, we stand in front of our closets and make a choice. Do I go bold? Do I blend in? Throughout history, fashion has been one of humanity's most powerful forms of self-expression. Back in ancient Greece, people draped themselves in long flowing fabrics called chitons and himation. The way you folded or pinned your cloth could show if you were a respected citizen, a visiting stranger, or even a philosopher deep in thought. Without saying a word, your outfit spoke volumes about who you were. Jump ahead to the early 1900s, and Coco Chanel became a beacon of women's liberation through fashion. By tossing aside restrictive corsets in favor of simple jersey knits and introducing the little black dress, she challenged rigid gender norms and gave women clothing that was both practical and empowering. Fast forward to the 2000s, where Virgil Abloh blurred the lines between streetwear and high fashion. He took the graphics and attitude of skate and hip-hop culture and turned them into runway statements. His bold logos and unexpected patterns showed the world that luxury could come from anywhere. Today, I'm meeting someone who has the same spirit of expression for his marketing agency, so I've chosen my best outfit to look the part.
Harry, thanks for having us here.
Well,
Round two.
thanks for coming. Nice setup. We haven't done this before, so.
There you go. Appreciate it. Thanks for taking the time out and letting us set up. I want to get through your founder story. You starting Academy Agency, you said it was 5 years ago. How did that come about?
I think it was just a drive to want to do my own thing from the day dot.
Yep.
When I finished uni, I was like 22, 23, and I moved to Tauranga. And I actually started an agency then called Evoke Social.
Yeah.
Because it was about evoking emotions. And I sort of like battled at that for a year and a half and kind of realized I just didn't know enough.
Yeah.
So I moved up to Auckland and I got a job at Timely, which is a tech company that sold, and it was a really amazing place to work and to learn about how tech companies iterate and just kind of like build, like get something made and go better and better and better and better. And I think that was like a pretty critical thing to learn. And then I did 18 months there, kind of sort of hit the ceiling, kind of realized I wasn't going to get sort of pushed up any higher. And then I went agency side, which is a complete opposite. You know, you're working for multiple brands, not just one. And I worked at Motion Sickness, which was just such an amazing place to go and work. And everyone there was just an absolute genius. And I got to work with some really cool big brands, and they really attracted amazing brands. And after a couple of years there, I just had this desire to work for myself. I come from a self-employed household, and I feel like there was something that I was never quite happy with, you know, and I think I'm slightly uncoachable as well and a bit stubborn. So I think it was a natural move for me. But the other driver was money.
Yeah,
you know, I've got a young child. At the time, she was about 7. And I just wanted to be able to at least have the potential to earn more money. And I probably earn less now, but whatever, you know. At least it's my money I'm earning less on.
Yeah.
And and then I took the plunge. Funnily enough, I'm a little bit woo-woo and witchy, and I did this sound healing workshop in Raglan with Raggy McJora's mum. And we sat there for my first time doing it. And bro, I went to this other world, Like it was amazing. And I was in this like white room and I had these post-it notes, and this is not drugs, by the way.
Yeah, sounds like it.
No, totally not. It's just that it's vibrations and our bodies all water.
Was it like the 432 hertz sort of stuff?
Yeah, pretty much, you know. And I had these post-it notes, and I just was putting on the wall things I wanted less of in my life and things I wanted more of. And things just became so clear for me. And this is in about October 2019 and 2020, I think. And then the next day I was in the cafe in Raglan and I saw the sound healer. She came over and she's like, you know, I could see you starting your own business one day. And then boom.
Did you say sound dealer?
sound healer.
Healer.
Yeah. And she
Yeah,
goes,
yeah.
I could see you starting your own business one day. And that was kind of the kick I needed.
Nice.
Then I ran the Auckland Marathon, which is a weird little thing to chuck in there, but that gave me all this confidence. I thought I was like blimmin' Zeus,
Yeah.
you know, and mixed with that. And then, yeah, I've still got the notebook. I wrote about 6 pages of how I was going to roll it out and launch. And like I launch brands for a living, you know, so I kind of know how to put those steps in place. And yeah, our first client was, clothing.
Wow.
And I just worked with him on the side while I did a few more months at Motion Sickness. And then I resigned in February. So it was about a 5-month decision or whatever. And yeah, February 2021, I officially went full time. And I had 2 clients that was just enough to pay me. And yeah, that was what kickstarted it, really.
That's sick. Having as your first client, that's huge, right?
Yeah.
How did that relationship come about?
Well, Joe Webb's a coal boy.
Yeah, right.
I went to St. Pat's, so we know each other from Wellington, and we did one paper together at uni.
Oh, wow.
And he just heard that I did Facebook ads. And at the time, I was like, oh, like, I'm so busy, I'm stretched. And mate, the guy can sell, water to a whale. So he talked me into it, and we started off really small. I just did a little bit, and yeah, it was just this beautiful relationship, like tag team. He just went full noise on the content, the organic. He knows that stuff like it's in his body. It's so intuitive to him. And then I would just do the growth stuff, so the Facebook ads, but then also the conversion. And there are some retention things, so setting up systems across the website for support, loyalty, bundling, everything.
Yeah.
And then he just did all the brand stuff. So, we just he would say yes and I'd say yes, and decisions were made really quickly. And yeah, over 3 years, we managed to grow that brand 3,500%.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah.
I mean, back in 2020 compared to now, it would have been completely different story, because right now they're one of the biggest New Zealand brands in the world.
Yeah, and I think the credit, we don't work with them anymore. They've got big enough to pull it in-house.
Yep.
But credit to them is they have really sustained that growth, which is, as a leader, really difficult to do, because you go through these completely different phases. You go through the up, and you could turn into a dickhead, and Joe hasn't. He's maintained like just really awesome humility. And then you have the downs, where you kind of financially need to get to the next stage, or you've just done a massive order of stock, so you've got no cash. That can burn you.
Yeah.
And they've cultivated just a really cool company culture, and they hire, everyone's fringe of, it's sort of they hire friends of friends of friends, and predominantly Māori and Pacifica. And yeah, there's no bad news in the press, and they're keeping their heads down.
Yeah.
So credit to them. They've also sustained it, because sometimes growth can just get you really wobbly.
Yeah, it's like a roller coaster, right? Especially business. It's like the ups and downs are times 10 of what life might be.
100%.
How do you think you try to stay stable to sustain that sort of growth?
I think you go through different tiers. At the start, you go through a tier and there's a certain level of stress, and you have to integrate something else into your life. So there's the chaos and the stress, that the harmony needs to come from something else. And so there's that first rung, and that whatever that first one is, it might be regular exercise or exercising just a little bit, and then you go to the next tier. You're earning more, you've got more clients, you've got more team, but with any growth becomes higher risk.
Yeah.
And that's what I think I've learned over the last 3 or 4 years is growth is cool, but it's also a really high risk.
There's more at stake, right?
Yeah, especially for agency.
Yeah.
Because we could only have like 5 or 10 customers. I think the most we've ever had at once on retainer is like 10 or 12. But if you lose a big one, that's 30% of your business overnight. So it's really high risk. So, yeah, I think for me now, we're in the low period, right? It's the worst time for agencies ever.
Yeah.
We've downsized our team majorly, but it's forced us to innovate and really focus on net profit and low risk. But the thing I've had to integrate to this level of stress, the harmony at this level, is working out in the morning.
Yeah.
Like I've never done that before. And so now I'm up at 5 and at the gym at 6 or 6:30. And that there I feel like is like the final boss for me on
Nice.
that. Like I feel pretty indestructible and really defensible with stress and different things that come to my life. And yes, I'm like, that's only been within like the last month.
Yeah.
And I'm like, that's why all these great founders do it, because it's elite. Like it just, you feel amazing, especially if you're a bit neurospicy. Like you need to get that workout done in the morning so you're just calm. And yeah, I mean, sometimes I work a bit later now, but it's cool because I've done all that.
Yeah.
You know, so.
Yeah, I think that's something I struggle with. It's like I'm waking up at 9 and working till 9 p.m. and there's no time for the gym. I feel like, so it's either in the morning when I wake up early or it's just not happening. So
yeah, I mean, I don't want to be one of those preachers that's like, do it, but hey, I think you'll find it. People find it in their own time. But I think as different people have different clocks. Like I'm definitely a morning worker and I'm pretty rubbish by 3. And then at that time I tend to do things that are not writing, not super strategic, more creative. I mean, editing for me in the Arvo, I love editing video. Yeah. I just can, it's just more relaxing.
Yeah, editing's very straining for me. I get real into it, so it takes a lot of mental power out of me.
Yeah, you have a lot of layers to your stuff, obviously, with sound and effects.
When you're at uni, I saw a clip of you talking about how you're also having to manage having your 1-year-old as well. What sort of a mindset do you think that made you develop? Because obviously that's a massive responsibility that most 18-year-olds don't go through, right?
Yeah, I think at the time I just put the blinders on to my own detriment, my own mental health. But it allowed me to get through those. I think I studied for 3.5 years or 4 years. And I think there's 2 things. One, it made me really want to prove to people that even though I had that challenge, I could be really fucking amazing at building businesses or something else. Like it was a like really just harnessing shame.
Yeah.
You know, and which is fine. Like if that's your drive, go for it. You know what I mean? So that was one thing that it sort of gave me. It was like, well, I'm going to prove them wrong.
Yeah.
And then I think I don't feel so much that like, oh, I did that so I can do this. I think that one thing, I think maybe it kind of gave me respect in the community. Like, good on you, you know, and that's sort of my love language is positive affirmation. So I love being told I'm a good boy. And so I think for me, I felt like I had a bit of a nice spot in the community, and people often come to me for stuff, you know, if they want to voice stuff in their life. And often I've been through it 10 years ago. So I've kind of had time to digest it and I can kind of talk about it. And yeah, but I mean, it certainly builds resilience for sure. But at the time I was pretty much a wreck. Like my mental health was in tethers and I was depressed for a few years and I didn't really know what it was. Like that's 12 years ago. It wasn't like it was today. The only thing was it was like John Kerwin had a depression.org ad, and that was sort of from watching the rugby, I knew what that was. So I was able to sort of start healing through what John Kerwin had sort of made public. But yeah.
Yeah, I feel like as an 18-year-old, you know, when you are going through tough times, you don't really know what it is. Doesn't matter what your situation is. Like you're still trying to figure things out at the end of the day. So most people do put the blinds on. I mean, I know I did as well.
Yeah.
It's just how you cope, and like, even now I feel like I'm figuring myself out. So it's very hard to understand certain things. Some things I've been trying to understand is like what's my drive? Like, why do I feel like I have a chip on my shoulder? Like, when you start unpacking these things, you start understanding yourself a bit better. But for you, like, what's your drive?
My drive has changed over the years. Like, in those early days, my drive was to prove people wrong. Now my drive is to gain freedom.
Yeah.
The thing with an agency is it's really cool, but you become very locked to that desk, to this grey line office. If you're just running the digital side, you have a bit more freedom. You can kind of bounce around, you can go travel a bit when you're a bit smaller. But as soon as you have a team and as soon as you start doing content, you're well and truly locked in. So there was a period last year where we had a bunch of clients on retainer for content. And it was cool for cash flow and for sharpening our sword and, getting good at it. But I couldn't leave because I was directing the shoots. Yeah. And so I realized I had boxed myself in completely. I was like, oh. So now my drive is to build a really sustainable, scalable business that gives me freedom. That has a clear vision, where we don't actually work for anyone else, we work for ourselves. And it's also something I can sell. It's pretty hard to sell an agency. It often doesn't. It really doesn't happen.
Exactly.
Because it's generally tied to the director.
Relationships as well.
Yeah, and the relationships and the director. And now I'm wanting to build something that's like digital products, or it's a product, like we're productizing our IP and our services. And our stuff is so much better than what's out there. I've been looking at a lot of brands recently, and I've been sort of looking at their books and getting connected to their ads and their website performance, and it's pretty frightening how low people are performing. But they're working with these like digital guys that have just like done a course on YouTube, right?
Yeah.
And with our new model, it's really cool because for us, we can onboard in 24 hours, and it's not as heavy for us.
Yeah.
But I can help so many more people to see, oh, okay, like we can't sustain this. Certainly can't grow. But they're looking at the wrong numbers.
Yeah.
And their digital guys are saying, oh, you got a return of this, but they're extracting a good looking number when the whole is actually really bad. So I'm really excited about being able to help as many small businesses as possible. Big as well, but I think the kick is helping that little company down the road that is just dark and depressed right now. Like, we had this meeting yesterday with a potential new client on the coaching side. When we went in, they were pretty depressed, the current state of their business. And we did an hour and a half with them, a marketing workshop, strategic workshop. By the time we left, they were buzzing. They were so keen to get back into marketing. They had some real clarity. They knew where these things sat in their sort of marketing stack. And that was an hour and a half. And we left and they were just like ear to ear. And I was like, that's the difference I want to make.
Did you do a bit of sound healing as well? Sounds like
we did some strategic healing, brother. I mean, that's without even looking at the numbers and stuff, right? Exactly. It's just, what's been really interesting is because we've productized our services, it's made me, I've spent weekends in here putting them into PDFs, into decks. But it's really hard to do because I have to take these very big concepts and strategic models, and it's all based off Vic Uni stuff that I've now made my own because certain things don't exist. So we've kind of got 3 or 4 of our own models, which is really sick. And I've put them into one pages and put them into lay speak. So pulled out all the jargon that you hear of these people using, and put it into really easy language that small business owners can understand. Like one of them we use is when you're building a funnel, you need roads coming into Rome, right? Rome is your market, and that's your website, and that's where your trading happens. If you don't have roads coming in from all these different directions, you can't have a bustling economy, right? And so that was one that we're using. People go, oh, and I can see the light ding on.
That's
they go,
sick,
oh,
yeah.
okay, I get it.
It helps you visualize it, right?
Yeah,
More
exactly.
than a funnel.
Yeah, that's
You've
what
heard of funnel.
yeah, it's just roads into the city, and you need that for trade. Whereas you kind of get these young guys, sorry, not gun, but gun ho, young guys doing digital marketing, and it's cool because there's low barrier to entry.
Yeah,
you can just get in.
Yeah.
You got these cowboys in there selling snake oil, and I have to like repatch and try to make the industry seem less snaky.
I feel that's more the older guys, not the young guys.
Is it? Yeah, far out.
They're the ones stuck with their jargons.
Yeah, and but yeah, they kind of only focus on this short-term gain stuff. No, they don't know how to grow long-term, and that's how you can do big numbers like what we did with Yeah. And so I look at 1 to 3 years, and also the short term, but pretty much 95% of every other marketer out there today only looks at the short-term gains, which is just it's just gonna your growth just depreciates.
Yeah, especially with like Facebook ads. Like most people that are running Facebook ads, they're looking for the instant ROI, right? So that is very short term. But for you, like even going through your website, everything you guys do, there's clear intent behind it, whether it's your website, your content, even the clothes you wear, right? What do you think inspires that?
Yeah, well, it's just point of difference, right? But it's organic for us. So we started out as a digital marketing agency, but what I could see with the numbers was like, you can't just do digital. And what I've worked out now is the digital part is 1 of 5, right? To move the needle and for scalable growth, you needed to be doing 5 things. I can send you the deck. But what inspired me was like, well, actually to help these clients, they need to add brand. They need to add organics, which is video, influencer marketing. It's doing cutting edge campaigns that raise eyebrows and get eyeballs, PR. And so we've always been a brand heavy digital agency, right? Because it gets the best results. Like our results are crazy. And it's because we have the combination. So we run a 60-40 model where we get brands to spend 60 to 70% on organic. And then you only need 30 or 40 to spend on ads because the nurture and the app, like what you get from the brand just amplifies the paid so much. But in terms of style and things like that, I mean, I've just always loved fashion and brands. I've always loved brands of every single industry. I love the concept of brand, not just an industry. I like ag tech as much as I like furniture brands, and I think culturally I hire people that I think are going to be the right fit. Generally they dress well, they like brands, and I think part of the hire, I think the way that we look is because we hire people who we think are going to be a good social fit,
Do you think branding is almost like what fashion is, but for businesses?
Yeah. Say that again?
So is branding what fashion is, but for businesses?
For like B2B businesses?
Yeah.
Or?
It's like how you come across as a business, but fashion is like how you come across as a person without saying a word.
Yeah. Well, I suppose as a B2B business, right? You look for areas where you can stand out. So we don't sell a tangible product. We actually sell our brains, right? And anywhere you can find an edge, take that edge. So yeah, for example, I like people to see that, oh, this guy dresses quite well. He's going to be creative as well as strategic. So I think for a B2B business, although I'm wearing a tie now, but it's kind of a gag on the tie because we're going, I'm not corporate, but anyway, that's the joke.
Ironic.
So yeah, fashion for us is part of our brand. Because we sell people, we sell brains. We're the packaging. I'd say the fashion is the packaging for the product.
Yeah, exactly. But like for branding as a business, it's almost like the clothes that for people, right? It's almost how you come across as
I see
a
what you're saying.
business. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I mean, it's how you express yourself. It's how the brand expresses itself. It's one part of it.
Yeah.
Because you can wear cool clothes but have a rubbish personality, right? And one thing we do now with brands in terms of like how to do organic marketing and how to do organic socials is we do like a world building workshop. And essentially there's just 5 things you need to work out is who are the characters in our world?
Yeah.
What do we wear as part of that? Okay, so when we shoot content, we put on a tie and a shirt and a blazer, and we have done a mood board around who we are, and it's cool teacher is our vibe.
Yeah.
And I just keep stuff out the back. You know, I don't have to wear this every day, but when we're doing content, I jump out the back, whack this on. Cool, now we're in costume.
Yeah.
And the other things that we have in the world building are location. Where are we shooting? Cool. Our couch.
Couch.
You know, the space. So your viewers can get to see the same places.
It's like a TV show almost, right?
It's 100% a TV show. This is what they would do. Yeah. Right.
When I was doing content, we started My Parents' Dairy. And that basically became like a TV show.
That's
we got up
such
to
a good idea.
40,000 followers on TikTok. And people were coming in from like Auckland, from Tauranga, saying hi to the dairy and hi to my dad.
I've seen that, bro. Yeah.
So we basically built a world where you're saying the same thing, right?
100%.
Yeah.
And styling is hugely overlooked and it's really easy to achieve.
Yeah. I've seen like your videos, like everything, like the clothes you're wearing are very color coordinated or it's very thought out. So it's very evident that you put a lot of thought in it, you know?
Yeah. I mean, sometimes I hit this wall and I go, should I just take the extra bit of effort to do that or whatever this little function is? And every time I ask myself, I think of that scene in Chef where the son wants to send a burnt burrito or quesadilla. And the dad's like, whoa, stop. He's like, nothing goes out there that isn't 100%. And so that's what I tell myself. And that's what I remind myself that if you're not going to do it at over 100%, then what's the point of doing it? You're just going to look sloppy.
Yeah. And most people wouldn't even notice it, but there's certain people that do are the ones you want, right?
Yeah, exactly. And it's just brand strength. You just layer it down. And the moment you start to take shortcuts is when those shortcuts compound upwards, you know?
Exactly. I'd be scrolling through TikTok and last year I'd see your ad pop up, POV, you lost 300K, but you had a plan. Talk me through what happened there and how the shift that's made that. Sorry. Talk me through what happened there and what sort of shift that's occurred after.
Yeah. So I think in about July 2024, we were doing about 1 mil in ARR, annual recurring revenue. And that was our peak. And then it all went downhill from there. But what happened was we had some really awesome clients and they were like big retainers, you know, like we were doing ads, strategy, content, socials, everything. We were essentially a full marketing team for them at the cost of one marketing sort of manager or head of marketing. So like it's a wicked deal. And we lost one because they hired a marketing manager in-house. Fine, that's what happens. They got their strategy. They don't want to butt heads with us. And cool. Yeah. You know, they're family. We're not, essentially, you know, so we got to go. And then, it just sort of happened again. Brands that we scaled, they hired in-house. Or, brands that some brands really just started to want to knock off costs in case of a recession, and here we are. Yeah. So that was all good, and ATTs kind of get the kick first, and it's funny. I often think, and I'm a big believer in fate, and that it had to happen 3 times within the space of 6 months for us to be 75% down on sales within 4 months, 5 months, to get the message, and the message was, there's something next, brother. Yeah. You gotta think about it and you gotta work it out. And that thing was in-house. And I thought, I'm not going to get back on that hamster wheel of get clients. It's so big to onboard new clients at that size. Like I can't do more than one a month, and I can't do 2 back to back. So I was just exhausted, and I was like, I'm not gonna just grow these brands and then get shat on again. Like it hurts the soul for me a lot. But it's just a crappy business model.
Yeah, it is.
I work with great business models and I help their business model. Yeah, I had very leaky taps. So over Christmas, I just sort of thought, okay, well, I've got to work out what this other thing is. And yeah, so we started developing in-house and we launched in May. So we kind of got it to market in about 4 or 5 months. And the first sort of, it's kind of still a prototype, but the first product was these PDF guides and people can buy them. My thinking was that will be our gateway product, which is really easy to get in, $50. And then we're just going to build this database and we feed them onto a course, which is $500. You get essentially the same things, but delivered every week over 10 weeks.
Yep.
And then the next level up would be coaching. So we'll have this beautiful self-driving
Road
funnel.
to Rome,
brother. And now we only have 2 clients on the agency side and they're wicked and we won't take any more on.
Yeah.
We work on a commission basis with them. So, we're actually not even running the same model at all that we were last year. We've got skin in the game with these clients, which is really cool. And yeah, now we're just gone full noise on in-house, which is selling the guides online. The courses in development, we sort of thought we could do it this way and we've pulled it back and we're reshaping it. And also the one-on-one coaching, which has been really rewarding and it's a pretty cool product. Yeah.
I think that's such a big shift that only comes from something happening, something occurring where you see you lost $300,000 worth of business.
Yeah.
And you feel like you're in the dumps and something beautiful evolves, right?
Yeah.
What sort of thoughts are going through your head when something like that happens?
Oh, I mean, I was like thinking I'm going to completely change my career. I've always wanted to work in film.
Yeah.
And I was like, all right, well, I'm just going to have to pull plug. Maybe I'll get out of the lease. I'll just shut the agency down. I'm going to do something that's rewarding. I'm going to do something that gives me freedom. But I've run out of all my savings. And I've got a child to support. So how can I actually do that? So I thought, well, instead of going completely new career and starting from scratch, how can I take what I've spent 10 years doing and put that into a scalable product? So it took a lot of long walks, bro, to figure it out. But we've got our V1 up and that's where the beauty of working for a tech company really has helped me with this, because it's just get something to market, get feedback. We've been talking to dozens of people over the last few weeks. Iterate, make it better, make it better, make it better, make it better. Joe Webb was fantastic at that. He just got products out there and made them better. Now they're really, really class. And that's what you got to do. You got to be pretty fearless, pretty naive, build it, sell it, get feedback, make it better. Get feedback, make it better.
Why do you think there's been such a big shift into in-house marketing for businesses as opposed to going to big agencies?
Oh, I mean, it totally makes sense, bro. I'm not dark on any brands that left us to pull in-house. From a business owner's point of view, it's you've got more control if you have it in-house. Doesn't mean you're going to be better, but you've got more control. And it feels like you're driving your own car and not a lease vehicle. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And people want their squad. I think when we're not in the same building, it just feels like they're paying heaps, whereas we always look at the return they're getting and it's always amazing. And clients that leave us and we're still sort of plugged into their data can see they always go downhill. Not 25%, and it's whatever. But at least they're driving their own car. And I've noticed that. And that's you've got to pick up on human emotion and things like that and go, oh, okay, well, fine. You know, if people really, really are proud of having in-house teams and that's what they want, then don't try to change it or buck that. Read it.
Yeah.
Just read it and then sell something to it.
Yeah.
You know?
I think, yeah, definitely it's massive play to sell something to that catering to that ever-growing market, right? Of in-house marketing. You're basically helping them out now in a way that they feel like they're still in power.
Yeah.
Which is what a business wants to be, is they want to be a team. So when you're leasing it out, when you're hiring agencies, you do feel a bit.
Yeah. And also the skills that their team are learning and the experience, you know, that's going to compound and stay and grow in the business. Whereas with an agency, it feels like you could just pull the cord out and then you're going to lose all of that.
Yeah.
And I get that, man.
Yeah.
You know, I totally get that.
Especially with a new growing thing recently I've seen is communities becoming huge. You go from run clubs to Discord to school. What do you think is the right way to go about community building?
Well, number one, you got to think of it as a gang.
Yeah.
That's how I look at them. I think gangs are such an awesome thing to study if you're a marketer.
Yeah.
Because they are at the highest end of the spectrum of devotion to a cause and a brand.
Yeah.
And even though there's things you can affiliate with them, if you want to focus on community, you look into gangs because they are the tightest community you can find. And cops, probably.
And cults.
But they're kind of the same thing, aren't they?
Yeah.
And but community's great. I think one thing that doesn't get heroed enough is how much effort they take. You know, for us, we do some community things and some events, and we really want to build the academy and the in-house community. But it costs time and money, man. You know, if you're trying to run a business and you've got to work out how to do that. I mean, I would buy a guide on that.
Yeah.
You know, I would buy a guide on how to run these things better because that's something I'm not very sharp on. I'm not very sharp on putting an event. It stresses me out. We always get good photos so it looks sharp, but I would like to do it regularly at a low cost. I feel like I can theme them well, but the organizational part of it, not that good at.
The admin.
But they're critical, you know. I think every time we do an event and we get more people and we get, kind of think of it, like we get more every time and we get more people who are closer to who that member is, you know. And I think that one thing is you can't just do one. You got to keep doing them. You have to show these people that, hey, I've decided to keep regularly showing up by putting these on. I'm not just doing this for a play or a foot in the door. I'm here. And that's the one big thing with brand marketing. People think they can do one campaign and that should sort them out. No, it's about the third, fourth, fifth, sixth that really comes into effect, because what you're saying to your potential customers is, hey, I'm here for the long run. And that's what people want now. People really want you to show that you are devoted to me. You know, your customer. You're devoted to me and you're not just doing this for a commercial reason, and you know, you're going to be here in 3-5 years time. You're showing up for your potential customers, and that's the trick to brand marketing. Is you have to be authentic. You have to be an actual member of the society that you're trying to plug into. You know, you can't
especially with social media, you see brands infiltrating the content space, but the ones that are winning are the ones that are showing up and actually wanting to be a part of the you know, the whole space rather than just be a brand. You're not trying to sell, you're actually trying to entertain or educate and show up consistently. Yeah.
The one thing that is the kind of the trick to brand marketing is finding adjacency. So it's the thing next to your product that people who buy your product do. Right. And that's what you got to do. So don't do the thing your product is, you find the thing next to it. So run clubs, for example, people sell shoes. So don't do, for shoe brands, they sell shoes. So don't just talk about the shoes. Yes. Do the thing that the shoe buyers do, which is running.
Yeah.
That's the adjacency. And what you'll find is the less you talk about your product, the more you'll sell.
Yeah.
Every single time, bro. We do that for clients. We had a SaaS client, software as a service, and we launched them. They're called a Glow. And for their first year, we led them to their Series A of investment, and then they hired in-house. But we drove something like 1,000 leads and 350 of them converted into customers. So 35% customer conversion rate, which is really high. That was about $500,000 in ARR, predicted ARR. And we never showed the product once, right? Never once in our ads. So what we did show was awesome salon owners, hairdresser owners and things like that. We just highlighted them and a bit of the success they had or awards they had won in their own personal life. And we interviewed them and did little podcast things. And we didn't blast the app in front of people, right? We did that on the website. But we led them to that without showing the product once. And it goes to show the less you show the product, but you cut into the emotion.
Yeah.
That's when you're gonna sell more.
That's like the first step of the road, right? Is that nurturing? And if you show the product straight away, it's a throw off. But if you can spark emotion, that's such a big play.
Yeah. And there is some instances where that's not like completely true. Like I've kind of developed a model on when you should use brand v product marketing based on the age of your innovation. Right. So if you have a brand new product, right, that, for example, like 5 years ago, 10 years ago, electric cars. Okay, that you need to go pretty heavy on the product marketing because people just don't get it.
Yeah.
But as the innovation ages, you need to shift to brand marketing. So if we look at, for example, at one end of the innovation, like you have old innovation, which is petrol cars.
Yeah.
People don't talk about really the functionality. It's about the brand of the car, right? So it's Jaguar and it's about who that person is. Is the Ranger a Kiwi guy? Yeah. They don't talk about the engine and stuff like that. Or maybe they'll chuck a little bit of, but not really, because that's an aged innovation.
Yeah.
Whereas an electric car, which is still a car, is very heavy on product marketing, right? And we're seeing it become more brand now as more competitors come into the market. But yeah, if it's a new innovation, it needs to be pretty heavy on the product. So what we do in terms of the selling the PDFs and all of that, that's not culture yet.
Yeah.
So it is kind of new. And maybe over the next few years, we'll see lots of people selling this. The e-learning industry I think it's about $600 million global industry, and it's over the next few years, it's going to be a $1 billion industry. And so it goes to show it's still kind of new.
Yeah.
So for us, we do about 50-50, 50% product, 50% brand.
Yeah.
So we could most people do like 70 product this early, but we are still really heavy on the brand.
It's very interesting, that sort of concept of the innovation side where it's either product or branding.
Yeah.
It's a good point. Yeah, I like that. I'm going to put you on the spot a bit. If you were the marketing manager for the aspiring founder, what would you suggest?
Oh, just keep going, bro.
Keep going.
Yeah, it's early days.
Yeah.
I'd maybe say 2 cameras.
Just one there.
But it's a nightmare. There's an app I can tell you which helps you edit the 2 cameras. You're probably already onto it. But no, I mean, you just got to keep going. I don't know how you'd monetize it.
Yeah.
But maybe it's got to drop into something else. But you're an editor, right?
I do everything, content editing, script writing.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. So, I mean, if I was you can sort of pour the concrete and figure it out later, but I'd work out how this drip feeds into leads for video editing or how it drip feeds into selling digital products, bro.
Yeah.
But I've seen your videos, so I would just look at just making sure that that link from brand to website to lead is good.
Yeah.
But once it's okay, then you just focus on doing more of this and getting it out there and collaborator posts, you know. But it is one of those things, like I was saying before, it's not the first campaign that you're going to see the big thing. It's third, fourth, fifth, sixth. And for a podcast, it's probably 30, 40, 50, 60, you know?
Yeah, I think that's one thing I've learned is like the first one's not going to be the best. Second one gets better. Third one's getting better. And then fourth one's, you know, there's so much growth. So not trying to get stuck on trying to make the perfect one, but just getting it out there, like you were saying, is so important.
Yeah, there's a lot we can learn from tech companies and how they launch products and iterate. And I think the same with content. You get a lot of perfectionists in content.
Yeah.
But it's totally about getting your numbers up. Like, we only started offering content 2 years ago, and we've probably done over 1,500 videos. So like, we've already got our numbers up.
Yeah.
And we're only now at the stage where we're like kind of going, okay, like, let's get quite good with our sound design. Like, we're only just looking at that now.
Yeah. It's crazy.
Yeah.
I remember you did a campaign for Barkers.
Yeah.
I've seen the videos, but we were actually doing a campaign for Retail NZ, and we did a shoot at Barkers. So I saw like the setup there.
Oh, yeah. And you interviewed Reby.
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought she was fantastic.
She was so good.
I was like, Reby, you need to be the face of Barkers. Because it can be a chick. Like, in their retail stores, it's a lot of women, you know? Because like, it's like the girlfriend dressing the boyfriend. It's 95% of New Zealand. But you kind of got to let your team run with it. I think the critical thing for those bigger companies who struggle to get into content is don't think the millennials can do it. Like, we just are not that good at it. You need Gen Z in there.
Facts.
They're a bit more ruthless with just kind of getting it done. And don't put them don't control them. Just let them go.
Yeah.
Let them go.
What do you
Give them
think
some guidelines, like, hey, the world building exercise is fantastic. So if you're a big company, do the world building exercise. We don't actually have it as a product, but after this, I'll get it up.
Yeah, get it up.
And then if you're CEO of a big company, you're 50s and 60s, and you're like, cool, well, let's do this. I'll give that to the Gen Z who can film all the millennials or whatever. And that's quite a good way of managing it and letting it grow itself. But just get your head out of it.
Yeah.
Let people go.
What do you think the power of Gen Z is in the current market?
I think confidence. I think there's so much more confident than millennials and Gen X. I think millennials project our insecurities around social media onto everyone else, but it's only because we went from this sort of we didn't have it to we do have it. We didn't grow up with sort of self-management or any tools around how to work with social media and use it. Whereas Gen Z have a bit of self-management around it. They don't take things too seriously. They know there's trolls. So whereas millennials will be like, we've got thick skin, Gen Z are like, well, I'm just not even offended.
Yeah.
It's just someone having a joke.
Yeah.
And I think that's really healthy. And I think you've got to surround yourself with Gen Z if you work in marketing to pick up off that, you know? Because, you know, it's really daunting when you post, especially if you're, I don't know, you're like, oh, I don't know. But Gen Z go, Zoe, fantastic. Zoe will go, yeah, just post it, man. And you just post it and walk away and let's go, you know? So I think Gen Z are just so awesome and fascinating. And I mean, I have a theory that whoever is in the, what is it? Like, internet culture is dominated by 18 to 25-year-olds.
Yeah.
So right now it's Gen Z. Before it was millennials. As Gen Z move out of that, it'll be whatever's next, the alpha.
Yeah.
And so internet culture will be dominated by them. I don't think it grows up. I don't know. We'll see. We'll wait 5-10 years time.
Yeah.
So it started with millennials. Oh, it kind of started with Gen X when it was more like email and blogs and things like that. And then it went to millennials, which was Instagram, the perfect life bullshit. I'm so glad we're away from that.
SEO
lifestyle.
And all that
it's like, you know, now we're in Gen Z world, which is honest, long format, pulling back the curtains on real life.
Yeah.
I think it's going in a healthy direction. I have a child, and so I'm kind of constantly thinking, what's she going to have to deal with? But I'm also cautious of not projecting my own insecurities as a millennial and just thinking, well, maybe they're actually all good,
Yeah.
But with her, she self-manages her time. She doesn't have social media, but on her phone. And we have a limit, so she can only use it for an hour a day. So she goes, okay, well, I'll do half an hour in the morning, so I can do half an hour at night. And so those skills there we never really grew up with, but she's doing that. And sometimes she doesn't use it all the time on her phone, So I think as a parent, you have to sort of help them gain and grow tools around how to use social media and things like that.
Yeah. I've seen like on LinkedIn, people gunning for banning social media for certain age in New Zealand. What are your thoughts on that as obviously a parent?
Yeah, I reckon banning social media is fine if you put them into like just playing games. Like there's a social element to gaming.
Yeah.
Well, sweet as. Like I don't think you can deny the social element of connection with others, but allow it to come through activity rather than just chat, right? Or posturing. So no, I think banning socials until like 18, to be honest. But give them something else to do. The big thing is people will strip something away, but not stem the flow of the river.
Yeah.
If you're going to rip something out, at least guide it into something healthy. And so I think my daughter just playing games and talk to her friends on games. That's cool.
Yeah.
You're collaborating. You're learning how to work with others. It's teamwork. So yeah, I don't think social media needs to necessarily build that. The only thing I do like is, I think if you're getting into a storytelling thing, then that's cool.
Yeah.
I think kids trying to write stories and then film it and edit it. I mean, that's really cool skills.
Yeah.
So maybe you leave them on YouTube. You can allow them to make videos on YouTube. God, they'll probably be like, why'd you let me on there? And I was so cringe. But yeah, I think things like Instagram could just go in the bin for younger kids, and TikTok, to be honest. But put them somewhere else. Put them into gaming, Roblox or whatever it is. Yeah.
Do you have any games that you grew up playing?
RuneScape.
RuneScape.
Yeah, I was pretty keen on RuneScape, but I never had my own computer, so I had to use a family computer. Mum and Dad ran their business from home, so Dad was always sketching out about me getting a virus. So he wasn't.
It's like every dad.
Yeah,
and something happened. It's not even you. It's like, look, you did it.
But to be honest, I got obsessed with social media.
Yeah.
So first it was Bebo. I did my speech when I was 11 years old on social media. Funnily enough, that's what I'm doing 20 years later. Yeah. But I don't try too hard on socials, like on my personal. I kind of did for a period, and I was like, oh, this is really hard to maintain, and it's not me.
Yeah.
So I know I should post a little bit more as founder stuff, but bro, I'm flat out. We'll get to a stage where I can have a full-time editor on just my stuff, but we're not there yet.
How important do you think it is to have a social presence as an agency owner in this market?
As like a Mr. Dalton Harris?
Yeah.
Well, you tell me. Is it effective?
Well, are you finding you're getting leads from it?
No, yeah, but I mean, do you like watching?
Of course, yeah. When I was going through it, I was sick. I learned a lot more about you for this interview,
Yeah.
And if I was a potential customer coming into that first meeting, I feel like I'd know you better, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it is important.
Yeah.
I like to just be myself. But I've got way more comfortable. I think at the start I was sort of presenting. And now I like to think I'm being my true self. Be it with a few curse words every now and then, but I'm like, well, that's me.
Yeah.
But no, I think it's important, but I'm not I would say do it in a way that feels cool. It feels all right.
Yeah.
And just layer it up. I mean, I've never done, I always feel like I'd love to do a day in the life thing. I suppose everyone has. I'm not that good at sort of going, hey, we're doing this today. I just don't have the time, bro.
Yeah.
So I kind of go, well, let's do a good one every now and then on our camera. And what I've realized is that if we sort of hold back but do really good stuff once a month, that's really powerful rather than every week.
Yeah.
So that's why we're not that big on TikTok, to be honest, because We don't have that rapid fire stuff. I am a little bit cagey about doing really good looking work.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that's why we haven't really killed it on TikTok. Although people say they see it. So you get a view, like you get videos that maybe have 1,200 views and you're like, oh, it's not doing that well. But people are always coming up and like seeing on TikTok.
Yeah.
We did have that little blast of ad money that we got gifted. So,
from TikTok?
Yeah.
Oh, sick.
I didn't spend, that wasn't my money. But it was pretty good to get it out there. I think we reached 500,000 people.
Yeah, well, you reached me.
Yeah, like 48 times.
Yeah, a lot of times.
Yeah, well, that's actually really interesting though, because as someone who works in paid media, right, our budget wasn't that big. And the frequency it was hitting people was really high.
Yeah.
So what that says is there's not many advertisers on TikTok. So your budget goes really far.
Right.
So if I was a business, I would be pulling from Meta and going to TikTok because there's less people on there and you can hit people for like, I don't know, probably 25% of the price.
Especially for like a digital marketing agency, you wouldn't see any other digital marketing agency advertising on TikTok as compared to Meta, right?
Yeah. Oh my God. There's so many on Meta, bro.
Yeah.
And I get them all the time. Good on you. You gotta make bread, and we do a little bit of it now as well for in-house. But I mean, there's definitely brands on TikTok that the attention seeker are just like the role models, bro. You know, I think they really busted down the door for agency, and there's agencies all over the world that now have confidence to do content because of what they started, and they set the tone, and credit to them. Like, yeah, they gave us confidence, 100%.
Yeah.
If it wasn't for them, we wouldn't be making content like we do. Like, yeah, I thank them for that. And they're legends. They're really awesome. And yeah, we really enjoy
I sat down
company.
with Stanley last week. Time to be home.
Brilliant.
Yeah.
You're starting off with a hiss and a roar, brother.
Here we are.
Yeah.
So advice for an aspiring founder, as someone who founded their own business, you've been in business for 5 years, especially in your 20s as well, which is, a difficult stage. What's the best advice you would give?
I just do it based off something right? Like, I started an agency at 26 because I had been marketing for 8 years already, since starting uni. And then I'd started brands all throughout my life as a little kid, making t-shirt brands, always like making things and trying to sell them. So I have done that my entire life. My dad, self-employed, so we're always talking about business growth and scaling startups. He works with startups, right?
Yeah.
So what I founded was something I'd been doing for a long time. I think what happens with founders is you see them scratching around for the industry to get into, or they just want to be a founder. And I'm guilty of that.
Yeah.
Totally guilty of that. But get good at something. And then, so your thing here, yours is video and content, right?
Yeah.
So get good at that, or get good at anything. It could be football, it could be, and then it goes into training or anything. Don't become obsessed with the idea of being a founder. Become obsessed with the idea of being good at something. And then you kind of work out how you can commercialize it. But it's the 10,000 hours thing, like, I live life mentally in stages, and it helps me understand things. So I go, okay, cool, I might do this. I'm going to do this for 3 years. And then I'll look at the next thing. And I think there's a lot of pressure when you're like finishing uni or you're 21 to be like that millionaire guy, and I was really like, I felt that as well. And then you kind of crack out of it and you go, oh, that's impossible. And just think it is impossible. Don't try to be like that one-off person.
Yeah.
Like, just go get good at something, layer it. I think the other thing, bro, is gain perspective. Travel. The best writers are the ones that didn't start writing until their 30s or 40s.
No.
And so go travel, gain perspective, get out of the concrete jungle, like, go and talk to as many people as possible. If you're wanting to get into marketing, make sure you take public transport, make sure you sit on park benches, Make sure you get a coffee every day and spend an hour watching people, because you study humans and I love just watching people. As I get ideas for scripts or whatever, I'm like, oh,
That's
look at that, look at that, look at that. So if you want to be in marketing, you're a social scientist, and you're, like how biologists have rhinos and elephants, you have humans walking down the road.
Yeah.
So go and observe and watch and get your hours up watching people. Don't be creepy. But
wear some glasses.
yeah, and talk to people. I love talking to randoms, bro, just buzzing out. Like on a chairlift or waiting in line for a coffee and what's that? And just, allowing curiosity to take over. And I think that one thing I really want Kiwis to do is give people their flowers. And do you know that saying?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, well, I think it's really common in the States.
Yeah.
I had never heard it here until I went over there.
Yeah.
And I think if you're walking down the street, tell people, they look great. Or ask people, what's that? That looks really cool. Engage, be a good villager, and be curious on other people's lives. And if you're curious naturally in other people's lives, you'll be a good marketer.
I love that. For me, myself, like, trying to make something happen, it's very isolating sometimes, and you kind of fall away from doing these things that you're saying. But it's so important, right? That's how you learn. That's how you open your mind to perspectives.
Yeah. Well, yeah, you got to surround yourself with people. Like, so when I started Academy, I think 1 week later, I was sharing an office with the Department of Arts downstairs. So 3 of them, me, we had a few other people that are doing their own thing. So from day one, I was surrounded by other founders who were starting their own thing. Like, how fortunate. I'll never forget that period of my life. Like, that was a real luck. Yeah. I think that was a stroke of luck for me to be surrounded by the DOA. I loved every single one of them. And everyone else that went through Department of Arts, Trev, and Friend Studio. It was a good time, And then, we got up here, and I still surround myself by people. Half of this office here is other brands, other startups, other people doing their own thing. I never actually want to work in a place where it's just my company. Yeah. I always think I really want to have outside people in there, because it sort of eliminates that. Well, it sort of eliminates that group think. Yeah. And you get outside perspective. I think it's really healthy. People want to get their own business and shut the doors. I think that's like the worst thing you could do. Get as close as you can to potential customers and like sit next to them. Yeah. Like, awesome.
There's always something to learn from a different industry, right? You're saying with the tech industry, how fast they put out. So it's always something to learn, right?
100%. Yeah, 100%. Yeah, and just perspective. Like, we're kind of young guys or Gen Z girls, and we're like got a fashion magazine there. So it's like, oh, what would you think of this? They love brands. Everyone in here does love brands. So we just brand chat.
Away.
Yeah, it's really good.
Cool. Thank you, Harry. I really appreciate it. It's lovely to meet you.
Lumen Acape Imperte.
Lumen Apice Aperte.
Lumen Acape Imperte. That's your school motto, not mine.
Aperte.
Mine's Sectari Freedom.
Thank you, mate.
I'm firm to the fact. Thanks, brother. No, cheers. That was really cool.
Thank you.